Hey, strangers, welcome to the Vale. You can call me Kay. And today we are not brushing. Today we are making food. That's exciting. Um, First off, I've done quite a bit of the prep already. I'm not going to be telling you how I'm doing it. I'm just going to talk to you while I do it. I'm making a kind of like sweet and sour meatball type of a thing, but I don't have all of the stuff for exact. So we're just gonna throw it in the pan and hope it comes out all right. No, I actually am fairly good at cooking. I enjoy playing around with different flavors and things like that. I just also drive my little sister crazy because I am one to just throw things together. Um, so I do have the stuff in general. I have sausages. I have some veggies to throw in there. I whipped up like a sweet and sour sauce. I'd add a little bit more to that. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. But and then I'm adding a little bit of spice in there because the sausages that I have are like a jalapeno, Monterey Jack, cheese sausage. So I was like, sweet and sour, but let's make it spicy just for funsies. So it'll be good, I think. I'm excited to see how it turns out. Um, One total side note is that I learned how to cook from my father, and he taught me everything I know. But the one downside to this is that my dad grew up in a family with a lot of kids, and he always makes food for a lot of people. And so I grew up making food for a lot of people, the six that are in my family, and then whoever was visiting, whenever we made food, we would make enough to have leftovers for days and days, right? And so now that I am living by myself, I make way too much food. Um, but it's fantastic. I love it. I have leftovers for days, which is great because when you're living by yourself, leftovers is really nice. You don't have to cook. It's fantastic. And all things it's anyone judging my cooking techniques, I'm making it for myself, not for you. So that just sucks, doesn't it? Just kidding. Ah, but yes. So fun facts from this. I have been learning a lot of really random facts of animals. Um, for instance, I learned that a pig can consume an entire human body except for the hair and the teeth. There are so many stories about some pig farmer going out to feed the pigs, and they were really hungry. And the pig farmer has a heart attack, falls in with the pigs, and they don't find him until their dentures show up the next couple of days because the pigs ate them. So pigs are terrifying. That's exciting. They're also adorable. Um, it's wild stuff. There are also stories of different like murderers who would feed people to pigs, and they were always caught because the pigs don't eat all of the person. So there was still evidence, but it's insane how that is a thing that you can look up, and there's actually multiple cases of people who murdered via pig. And there's like stories about certain mafia bosses who disposed of bodies via pigs. They would raise pigs, and that's how they would do it. So crazy stuff. Also, that does make pigs a little interesting because you'd think that, like, I mean, animals are interesting. People, like, they don't share human emotions, right? Which is really, it's strange. So, like for pigs, you'd think that, like, if you were a person, you had this person come and feed you every single day, then you were just really hungry. You wouldn't think about eating that person if the person fell into your room? But for pigs, they're just like, cool, guess that's the food today. Guess we're eating that. And that's just kind of wild to me. Um, yeah, interesting. But again, not human emotions. They have completely different thought processes to act. Um, and I mean, as part of that, you get For instance, killer whales. I was talking with a friend at work about how killer whales are kind of assholes. Like, they're horrible. They'll have, like, they'll go through trends. They'll teach each other to do certain things. And there's this killer whale who has a vendetta against a shipping boat. Which, I mean, fair enough. There was like things that went down there, but the killer whale is now like ramming into boats and is teaching other killer whales to ram into boats because they're offended. And that's so interesting. Or hippos. Hippos are interesting because they're really, really territorial, right? And as hippos are incredibly territorial, they're also herbivores. And so if a hippo kills you, it's just because it wants to kill you. It's not because it wants to eat you. It's nothing like that. It's just you got in its space, so you need to die. Which is terrible, but also so funny. Um, Maybe this is a bad idea to do while it's cooking because I get really distracted by everything that I do. Just, it's fine. But yeah, hippos. They'll just eat you. They don't particularly care about who you are or what you're doing. They just want you dead. Um, I mean, you hear all sorts of stories about animals like that. And then you get animals like dogs. Dogs are the most pure things on the planet. And if a dog is having issues, you need to look at the owner and not the dog because rescue dogs don't have evil hearts. You know? I don't know. It's the thing. I'm always intrigued by like animal psychology. I absolutely love crows. Like I guess any member of the Corvid family, crows, ravens, magpies, you name it. I love them. They're so smart, so incredibly smart. And they'll remember things. I was talking with a guy who trained raptors. I went to a show. I saw him. He was working with owls at the time, and I think a couple of vultures. But he said that ravens were his favorite to work with because they'll give them puzzles and things like the kind you give dogs, where if you complete the puzzle, you get a treat, right? And that they would give them these puzzles, and most birds, you could switch it out and you could bring the same puzzle back and they would have the same amount of difficulty trying to figure it out as they did the first time. But you can't do that with any member of the Corvid family because they'll remember all of the puzzles that you gave them. And so if you want them to, like, if you want it to be difficult, if you want them to keep learning, then you have to give them different puzzles. Which is so neat. They also hold vendettas, or if they like you, they'll bring you shiny things. It's like a mini life dream. I say mini life dream. It's a life dream of mine to befriend a flock of crows and just have them follow me around like a bad omen. That would be so cool. Oh, it would be fantastic. But yeah, that's a thing. Animals. Animals, man. There is a gorgeous green orb weaver spider that's living on my sunflowers right now. And it's so pretty. Oh my goodness. It's like this vibrant green color and it's just chilling on the leaves and I love it to pieces. It's so gorgeous. Da, da, da. Fun story. Earlier, oh, I don't know how good the sound, the microphone on this is, so we'll find out. Um, but earlier, when I was getting ready to start the rice, I may or may not have broken the bag and spilled rice all over my kitchen. Um, it was an adventure, but alas, there's not much I can do about it. A little bit of butter. That's fine. You can never really go wrong with adding a little bit more butter, right? So I have the sausage going, and it will be delicious. And then after the sausage is mostly cooked, then I'll add in the veggies and a little bit more of the sauce. And then I will put it all over rice. I'm extremely excited about it. I think it's going to turn out really good. It smells really good. Right. Yeah. So Sundays are my meal prep days where I have all of the stuff and then I'm like, cool. Now I'm gonna make all of the food for the whole rest of the week. And then I make all the food for the whole rest of the week. And granted, today that's not what's happening. I'm making food for half of the week, and then I'll make the food for the rest of the week on Tuesday because I'm bringing a couple of friends some food. And so, cool. Don't, that's too silly. Bring it down to a simmer. Don't attack me. Okay. But yeah, fun times. I was going to add something to that. What was I going to add to that? I can't remember. We'll figure it out. At some point, I will remember what I was going to add to the sauce, and then at that point, I will add it. This is why I love cooking. I can just throw things in here, and at some point, it'll come together as a meal. But it doesn't really matter if it's weird or if people are like, "Why in the world are you doing that combo?" I can just it tastes good at the end. It doesn't matter if it has a name or if anyone does it regularly. Yeah, I enjoy it. I made pozole. It was like it's like a soup, a traditional soup, and it's absolutely delicious. And I never tried it before, and it lasted me like 2 weeks because the recipe that I got, I had a friend give me the recipe, and the recipe that I got lasted me for so long because it was this massive batch of pozole. It was so good, y'all. Oh my word. Yeah. The projects that I'm working on are going really well. I need to get more yarn. I'm out of the black for the blanket that I'm working on, and I'm out of the white for the tulip baby blanket. And so now I've just been working on this purple scarf that I'm making. And so hopefully I'll get all of the yarn that I need next Saturday. Next Saturday is the goal for getting all the yarn. And that will be very happy. Yes. So there we are. I don't know. Ramblings. Animals are crazy. Very interesting. I have a whole list of random things that I'm going to be talking about. I don't know. Here, I'll pull it up. I'll give you some suggestions and y'all can choose what you want to hear me ramble about next. Um, let's see. My mom will just send them to me sometimes. She'll be like, "Hey, this sounded weird. You should talk about it." And I'm like, "Awesome. Okay." Let's see. So animals that are assholes. We covered that today. Also, quokkas. Quokkas are so cute. But if there is an animal attacking them, they will throw their baby at the animal to get away. But quokkas are adorable. So if you haven't seen them, look them up. Also hamsters. Hamsters are assholes. I had someone describe them once as she was describing a hamster that she had as a kid, and she's like, "Oh my goodness, she was a vampire on steroids." And it's a fair thing. Hamsters are terrifying. They just are full of rage. It's almost like chihuahuas, where the smaller they are, the more rage they have in their body. Anyway, okay, those were the only other two animals on this list of on the list that I have. Okay, so the history of random people drinking mercury and what it did to their psychology. That's option one. The a fun ramble about wishing wells and different things along those lines and how they came to be. Also, any lore surrounding them, because that's something that I want to study. So that's option two. And option three, let's go with bone churches. There you go. That's option three. So let me know which one of those three you would like to hear about the most. And this is getting really long, so I'm going to go finish my dinner. But I hope y'all have a lovely week, and I'll talk to you later.